Hey friends, grateful you're here. It's the middle of the month. It's not the middle of the month. It's the middle of the year. But it does mean that it's time to freak out about some books. When I was just a little viewer on BookTube, I would absolutely love watching these, so I'm very excited to be able to do my own. So there are 13 questions, and we're just gonna get started. Best book you've read so far in 2023. Okay, so this is like a four-way tie. Four-way? Five-way. It's a tie between The Seas by Samantha Hunt, Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri, Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan, and Lucy by Jamaica Kincaid. I was gonna throw the Pisces on there, but that's not like the best book I've read. I think the best book, and it's not even the best book, I think my favorite book of 2023 so far has been Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri. But those four have been like, I'm gonna add the Pisces onto there. Those five have been deeply enjoyable reads this year. Best sequel you've read so far in 2023. I have not read any series, so I don't have an answer for this, but I'm gonna kind of cheat and say that reading through Annie Ernaux's catalog. So for example, I read Simple Passions, and I'm gonna count The Possessions as like a sequel to that. I got another Ernaux in Miami, and I feel like it's along the same lines. So I'm counting that as a series, and that's the best sequel of a series that I've read. Please accept my answer. Thank you very much. New release you haven't read yet but want to. There are actually a couple of new releases that I am super eager to get to, and I feel like I'll get to this summer. So Late Americans by Brandon Taylor, I'm reading that with book club. Family Lore by Elizabeth Acevedo, I feel like that's a great read that I'm really excited to get to this summer. Diquette by Jen Fran Davis, I'm reading that like next week, and I'm super hyped to pick that one up. What else? Okay, so these are, I probably won't read in the summer, but I'm going to read once the weather starts getting a little bit cooler, the trees start changing colors. But Mild Vertigo and Kairos, those are both the New Direction books, and I'm very excited to pick those up. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Okay, so someone on Bookstagram just posted this, but I absolutely love Nina McLaughlin's Summer Solstice. It's like a little essayette. My friend Susie sent it to me for my birthday, and it was such a delight to read. I want to return to it as Summer Solstice is just passed, but she's coming out with Winter Solstice, and I am super excited. It's just a beautiful little bundle of exquisite writing and just draping yourself in a season. I love reading about the changing of seasons, so I'm really excited to pick up Winter Solstice, and I think it comes out in November. Another one that I'm also really excited to pick up is Megan Nolan's new book. It's called Ordinary Human Failings, and I think it's coming, I'm not sure. I know that somewhere in the world it's coming out in November, but I'm not sure what the US pub date is, but that's one that I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out for, because Megan Nolan did the damn thing with Acts of Desperation, and I'm so excited to continue to read her. Biggest disappointment. I think my biggest disappointment was Dyscalculia. I was really excited to pick that one up. It's blurbed by a ton of people who I really love. I read it on audio, and I think that's where I might have failed. I'm eager to pick up the physical copy and just spend some time reading through it again, but that was one that I just like really had high hopes for and landed kind of forced and flat to me. But again, I think it was because of the audio. I feel like for me, audio works really well with like contemporary pieces. I maybe shouldn't try to do like very lyrical things on audio, because I think the way that I receive it might not be. This is all to say it's a me thing. But I'm gonna try that one again. Biggest surprise. Okay, absolutely Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan. I probably won't shut up about this book, but I remember when I read Simple Passions, I went on IG and I was like, hey, does anyone have any books that are similar to this? And people were recommending Acts of Desperation. For some reason, I wasn't pulled to it completely. Yeah, even when I picked it up now, I wasn't expecting it to blow me away the way that it did. I think am surprised that a book was able to like pull me into that obsessive nature where you're just like stealing pages and not sleeping and like hiding away from family to read a book. Like, I haven't experienced that in so long. I freaking love having experiences like that. So Acts of Desperation absolutely blew me away, and the Pisces absolutely blew me away. I think in a less serious way and a little bit of a more frivolous way, but it was just such an enjoyable read. Sometimes I think we forget that reading should be fun, right? I think sometimes I can fall into like wanting to exercise my brain or make sure I'm reading nonfiction, make sure I'm reading books of literary merit, and it's like, for what? Like, you can read those books, but also just like make sure you're having fun. The Pisces was just such a great way to remind myself that this is what reading should be. Like, I should be cackling at the top of my lungs on South Beach while reading a book. That's That's what it's all about. Favorite new author. I am so annoying. I'm annoyed with myself, but my favorite new author is Megan Nolan. She's coming out with a new book, like I mentioned before, Ordinary Human Failings, and I am so excited to see what else is percolating up in that brain of hers. Yeah, it's so fun to be excited about people and their art, and yes, I'm just really happy that I encountered her this year. New fictional crush. Okay, so while I was reading the Pisces, I was like, oh my god, I want a Theo. Then I finished it and I was like, Theo's too needy. So I don't know if I have a fictional crush. What books have I read this year? Yeah, I don't have a fictional crush. I'm gonna rectify that though. I will come up with an answer by the end of 2023. New favorite character. I think my new favorite character, I know my new favorite character is the unnamed narrator in Whereabouts by Jhumpa Lahiri. I think that character was so relatable and so clunky in how she moved through the world. This might be a little bit like egocentric. I saw a lot of myself in that character. It was like looking into a freaking mirror. I think about her a lot, like to a concerning degree. She's my favorite. I worry about her, you know, and I hope she's doing well. A book that made you cry. I've said this like 1,000,001 times, but the only book that this year has made me cry is The Friend by Sigrid Nunez. I was gonna say I hope that changes, but I think I'm okay with not being emotionally manipulated by the books I read. But I think that'll change. We'll see. We still have a couple months to go. A book that made you happy. I think the book that has brought me the most joy this year has been The Crane Wife by C.J. Hauser. I think reading that essay and then reading the book, listening to it on audio, listening to her tell her story on audio was such a joyful experience. A lot of her explorations are things that I have also been thinking about, and so to see her move through those questions in the way that she did brought me a lot of joy and a lot of comfort. Yeah, I remember feeling really, really joyful while I read that book, and I miss it. I want to return to it. Most beautiful book I've bought this year. Damn, here we go again with the book cover question, which we've all come to the conclusion that I am not good at. This is more of like a sentimental take on this, but I'm gonna say Paradise Rot. I mean, the cover is cool, but this is my favorite thing. Monica, thank you. I love you. And then the last question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I've said this before, I definitely need to get to Mild Vertigo. I definitely need to get to Kairos by the end of the year. Those are two books that I'm like super eager to get into. Also, The Nursery by Molnar is like, I put it on my summer TBR, but I do think it's going to be one that I'm going to try to read either in the fall or the winter. I also really want to read The Seasonal Quartet by Ali Smith. I keep saying this. I want to start with autumn, and I'm hoping this autumn I actually follow through. Also, I would like to get to How to Write an Autobiographical Novel by Alexander Chee. I've had that on my list for a long time, and I recently saw Nathan speak about it, and I was just like, oh, I need to stop playing around and get to that one. And then finally, I do want to read at least one nonfiction book this year. I don't want to like judge my reading habits because I think I'm doing what I can to stay afloat, but I do think that I should probably pick up some nonfiction. I recently saw Katie's All Booked speak about an Ezra Klein book that I think might be interesting to maybe listen to. I also have a stack of nonfiction here that I need to work my way through as well. I might do Beyond Survival. I feel like that might be semi-applicable. But yeah, so nonfiction, Alexander Chee, Mild Vertigo, Kairos, and The Seasonal Quartet. I have a lot of reading to do. All right, so that is my mid-year freakout. I am, if you're watching this, tagging you, so no pressure but pressure. I want to see the books that you guys have enjoyed so far this year, and yeah, I think that's it. Bye.